Hey everyone, welcome to the show. This week we're reviewing Cafe Tu Tu Tango on International Drive. Coming to you live from the Bob Varley studio in Orlando, Florida, you're watching The Trip. This is The Trip, episode 37 for the week of October 28th, 2015. The Trip is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect vacation, whether it be theme parks on the West Coast, East Coast, or on the seas. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everybody. I have a correction. It is not the week of October 28th, 2015. It is the week of September 30th. 2015.
What an immediate correction.
Sorry. We have had massive overhauls in our content schedule constantly. Things that we have planned to do far, far ahead of time are getting changed, and we're doing those sooner, and things that we had planned on doing sooner are getting pushed off. So my scripts are all...
Where are we? What's the date today?
September 30th.
Okay.
Episode 33.
Yeah.
That's the final.
October 12th. I thought I lost a whole month there. I don't remember October. What happened?
This is our issue.
It's scaring me. I don't remember the month of October.
Actually.
I was tripping. I don't know what was going on.
Talking about tripping. Do you have an issue?
I don't have an issue this week.
I have an issue.
Oh, tell me.
Do we have an issue?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
What's your issue?
So I've been going back and I've been watching the Friends episodes. And, okay, you remember this show?
Yes.
10 years worth of it, right? Okay.
At least, yeah.
So I'm well into season 3.
I can see where you're going with this, but go ahead.
As an adult, I am seeing this show differently than I did when I was a teenager in high school when the show was airing.
Okay, just shut up there. You were in high school when this aired?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I got no comment.
Well, back when it aired, there's Rachel Green, and she's, she's the funny one, and she's so pretty.
The funny one?
Yeah, she's hysterical. And, she's just the fun-loving all over the place, and everybody, wants to be Rachel Green. And as an adult, I'm watching this, and I guess I always like to think of myself being a Rachel Green person. I am so not. I am Monica Geller.
You're Monica. I could have told you that from day one.
Absolutely, Monica Geller, the whole way, the whole 9 yards. When she, down to how she talks about the tag on the bedspread goes at the bottom on the left side rather than at the top on the right side.
How could you not know? Yes, of course. How could you not know that you're Monica?
It just occurred to me.
Okay, I'm going back to you were in high school when this was on. Dustin, were you trying to get perfect attendance when this was on?
What years are we talking about? I'll give you a better clue. What is the run, basically?
I don't know. I know my children were little.
Would have been like
mid to late 90s.
Mid 90s is when it started. That was the whole, you know.
You don't want to know, Teresa.
Rachel Green
you don't want to know.
phase.
You were striving for.
You don't want to. You don't want to know what I was doing in the 4th grade.
Okay, when this was on, I was like sitting at home rocking babies. Yeah, I was. Whoa. And you know who I am.
You are 100% Phoebe Buffay.
Sadly, I am
singing
Phoebe.
Smelly Cat all day.
Okay, this is freaky, but I'll keep this short. We had this little nasty little cat when Max was a toddler, and it was a little stuffed cat, and it was always dirty because it was always, I think it might have been a cat toy, I don't remember, but we called him Smelly Cat. And when Max was little, he could sing Smelly Cat. So,
Smelly cat,
yeah, we were.
Well,
cat.
we can't go through this. I got to know, who am I? Please, I've always thought of myself as a Ross, but am I not a Ross?
Well, you're not Joey.
No,
I might be
you're not.
Chandler. He's got a good sense of humor, but he's also a little bit like...
Chandler's pathetic. You're not Chandler.
I would say
You're
you're
Ross.
Ross.
You're Ross with just a tiny bit of Monica.
This is the whole going
Which
back to the
might be why
packing
they're
for your trip episode.
related. They're related, by the way.
It is going back to. Oh, that's right. They're brother and
And sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right.
Are there any episodes that I will be coming up on where they go on? Do they go on road trips? That would be interesting.
They do.
I want to
I know
compare
of a
it to
couple of road
ours,
trips,
or
yeah.
like trips that you and I take together.
I like the ones where they trip back in time and they show them wearing wicker shoes and shoulder pads, and Monica's a
in
little
her-
on the pudgy side.
in her big.
I haven't thought about
clothes.
that show. Pivot. I haven't thought about that show in years. Okay. Wow.
Anyway, that's been my
All
issue,
right.
waking up to the reality of like, holy cow, this is how other people see me.
You're a Monica.
Yeah,
You're Monica. Yeah.
This must be. That's what I thought. This is how Tess sees me.
That's how I see you. You are Monica.
I'm not a Carrie. I'm a Samantha.
Wow.
What's
I
Dustin been
I
watching?
never knew. I thought I was a Carrie. And, you're a Samantha?
No, that was a Forgetting Sarah Marshall
Oh, okay.
reference. Okay.
Not a Carrie. I'm a Samantha.
Well, anyway, that would be it. Going forth into all of the rest of our trip episodes, I guess, I've put myself in a box. We have our little stereotypes now, our characters, but yep, she's got nothing for that. Okay,
I got nothing for that.
on to some trip talk.
He has nothing for us.
He has, and Dustin has nothing either.
All right. So we got another dining review. Mm-hmm. We went out to eat.
Yes, at your suggestion.
Tu Tu Tango.
Cafe
I've been there
Tu Tu
one other
Tango.
time.
Cafe.
Yeah, Tu Tango Cafe, yeah. It's on iDrive. I thought it was an artsy, fartsy little place. I like it. I enjoyed it. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the concept?
Yeah, I have actually never been to a restaurant like this. This
Yeah.
was the first time ever experiencing this type of concept. So it's food, it's art, it's music, it's dancing, it's fun, it's all of these things. And when you go to the website, they explain that it's supposed to evoke a time when artists found inspiration and community in sharing food and drink and philosophy. We're supposed to think bohemian ethos.
I felt like we should have been in black with a little beret. And I really wanted to smoke a cigarette on a lawn.
It's very
And just
beatnik of you.
Yeah.
snap our fingers through the whole thing.
Right, right.
Yes, absolutely.
But not really. I mean, yes, but then it also had a little just inner city flavor to me.
Yeah.
I
for sure.
loved it.
You know, I mean, I like the place.
So you walk in and it is a restaurant, but at the same time, it's an art gallery. Like in a legit sense, all of the artwork that's hanging up is for sale. You can purchase it. Meanwhile, there is, from what I understand, always an artist producing artwork live in the middle of the restaurant that you can watch. We had a lady working, and you can see her right there in that little picture, hunched over her desk working on little...
She was doing small canvases, maybe 5 inches by 5 inch canvases, little portraits of, I think at that time it was animals, but I think she does other stuff too.
Yeah, and then we found out at certain times in the evening they introduce dancers.
Belly
Not-
dancers.
Sometimes belly dancers, but not always one specific type of dancer, right? Wasn't
River dance.
I actually don't know if River Dance actually enters.
They have
the restaurant.
Highland dancing at Cafe Tu
My
Tu
weak
Tango.
ankles would not have stood it. I would have gone down first time.
If I was on that
Michael,
table, that thing
whatever,
would-
came through the room with his little clicking shoes.
If I was on that table, that thing would buckle right under me. I'm telling you, if I'm slamming down on that thing, all 220 pounds of me.
Oh, shut up. 220 pounds. You'd lie.
I'm sorry, would you prefer that in kilograms?
I would.
Okay.
Stone. I want it in stone.
Yes, I'm
3 stone.
5.7 stone. Whatever. What is
stone over 3.
Okay, somebody in chat help us out. Stone is, I think, like 12 pounds, 13 pounds, something like that.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
This is the part where JL exits the conversation.
Yeah.
When math comes up.
Oh, so anyway, it's an artsy fartsy little cool place. The art is not. It's all. I would call it. It's a little funky art.
It's a bit Andy Warhol.
Yeah, folk art.
Yeah, and pop art as well,
Pop
like you're
art,
talking
folk
about,
art.
because there is art based on a lot of pop icons, and there's even some Andy Warhol recreations that we'll talk about in there. The table that we were at had a giant. It was like an impressionist mural of somebody famous, so that
Did you
helps.
get a picture of it?
Yeah, it's somewhere in here. Talk amongst yourselves.
I'm
Time for us to chit chat.
I think it was Jim Morrison. And, there was stuff like that, guitars that...
That's Jim Morrison.
I think so. There were
It's like Judy Garland to me.
there were like guitars, and
I'm going with Jimi Hendrix.
there was some like John Lennon stuff up on the walls, stuff like that. For, pop culture references, but there was also some landscapes and portraits and stuff like that in there.
It was
as well.
cool. It was
Cool
a
art.
lot to look at, a lot to take in.
And like you said, there was some folk art in there too, like
Yeah.
with like a lot of metal sculptures and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
It was very unique and not at all what I was
It made me
expecting.
think of Howard Finster. You know who Howard Finster is?
No, do tell.
Howard Finster's an artist, old man. His whole property he lived on was art. He would turn everything into lots of painted weirdness, and we made a pilgrimage to his house one time in Georgia. Anyway,
Well,
Google it, Howard Finster.
It caught me off guard because you said, I like Cafe Tu Tu Tango. Let's, try that out. But you didn't explain it to me. I hear Cafe Tu Tu Tango and I'm thinking salsa. I'm thinking
Yeah.
Latin dancing. I'm thinking Mexican food.
Si, senor.
Yeah, I'm.
Para su
Wow.
seguridad.
I'm thinking Buzz Lightyear in the Spanish demo mode. I was not expecting bohemian artwork and
Wow. Okay.
what it was. It was so very, very unique. All right, but before we get into the rest of it, I guess I'll say it's open weekdays 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. and then on weekends it's 11:30 a.m. to midnight. They've got some stuff that they do regularly at the restaurant. The first one would be Tutu Hour, which Dustin, participated in Monday through Friday from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. at the bar, the lounge, and the patio. You can get 2-for-1 drafts, sangrias, Pinnacle Vodka, Don Q rum, and Margaritaville tequila.
I made a mistake in doing that. I went to the bar before you guys showed up, just because I got there earlier than I thought. The traffic and the weather didn't hold me up as much as I thought. And I went in there and I ordered a draft beer, which was 2-for-1. And I closed my tab out. And she said, "Do you want your other beer?" And meaning I've paid for one, so I get another one free.
Yeah.
But what I thought she said was, "Do you want another beer?" Meaning I was not aware of this, and do I want to pay for one? And I was like, "No, I'm okay." And she looked at me like, "What? Why? Why?"
Trying to cut back.
Why wouldn't
Okay.
you want
But she
it?
didn't question it because that saved them money or whatever.
Right.
So the point is, if you go during happy hour, get your 2-for-1 draft
You're
beers.
2-for-1.
Yes.
That's right. Twofers.
Okay, they also have a Sunday brunch and Bloody Mary bar. That's
That sounds creepy, but okay.
11:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Well, there was a bit of a weird, eclectic creep factor to this place as well.
Why do you
kind of
say
like-
creep?
Well, okay, for the same reason that, Day of the Dead is fun and all the Day of the Dead stuff that we all love it. But there's a bit of creepiness to it.
I remember talking about that a little ways back on that skeleton show we did about a month ago.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
It's Day of the Dead stuff is all fun and exciting and blah blah blah, but at the same time, there's a part of it that's kind of like, okay,
I like this kind of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, it is fun.
Tutu Tango to me, I would want my whole house like this, but I like the bright colors and
It's
the
very vivid.
weird eclecticness of it all. I love that.
It's hard to tell in the photos because it's really dark in there, but they are very bright, vivid. The whole thing is very bright and vivid paints and it's
the
very, very
artwork and
artsy.
everything.
I got a little bit sidetracked, but this Sunday brunch and Bloody Mary bar. So they have a bottomless Bloody Mary and Mimosa bar during the Sunday
Sunday.
brunch. Then they have Wine Down Wednesdays, which is 50% off of all bottles of wine.
That's
They
cool.
sell it
That's
by
a funny
the-
name.
That's
I
a
like
nice
that.
play on words, yeah.
They sell it by the glass. And it says something on their website about everything's 100% scratch from the kitchen.
Scratch, kitchen, yeah.
And for those of you that use Open Table, you can make reservations online via Open Table.
That's good.
So, yeah, parking was easy
Easy
enough.
peasy.
Right there.
Unlike a lot of places on International Drive, especially like in Port Orlando or at iDrive 360, you've got to go into a parking deck to get a spot. They do have their own parking lot. And I would imagine that if you're not eating there, they would tow away vehicles and stuff. So there was plenty of parking.
Yeah.
We also didn't go during a very busy time.
Right.
But there was plenty of parking,
But
and
you
they
can
had their own
get to
parking
it
lot.
from the Castle Hotel, which is they're back to back, and there's a couple other places where the parking lots kind of intertwine.
Yeah.
It's in the, and I didn't know this until I was going down there, and I didn't even know this was a section because I came down on Universal Boulevard or Universal Drive or whatever off of the beach line. There was a sign that it was called the Austrian, I think it was Austrian section.
Yeah.
And Tu Tu Tango was on that. So
That's the side street,
That's
the
the
Austrian place or Austrian
right.
way.
So it was kind of the whole little area. And if you miss it, you got to go around and, come around again. But
Well, I actually parked in the Pirate Mini Golf parking lot
Yeah,
and just
which is right
walked
next door.
right over.
she did not walk over. She drug herself through the wet bushes.
I booked it. Yeah,
She
because it
booked
was
it
raining.
through the bushes.
You know the sad thing about all that is I had 3 umbrellas in my car.
You always have umbrellas.
I always have an abundance of umbrellas.
Watching JL run across the parking lot after,
In my wedge heels, that was a spectacle.
That was fun. I wish I would
That
have
was a
video.
spectacle. All right, we've talked a little bit about the atmosphere, but I mean, I don't know. Dustin, how would you describe it?
Everybody keeps throwing around the word like hipster and artsy. I would definitely go with the descriptor bohemian. I think that fits it a little bit more. It's more like you're going into a restaurant that happens to be owned by like a bohemian that owns
poet.
a farm somewhere, and
Right.
this is their restaurant of their eclectic friends' art and stuff like that.
Yep. That's exactly what it's so eclectic. That's what.
Very.
At the same time, because you're on International Drive, it's not gonna bring in a crowd that, and I hate to say this about bohemian hipstery kind of people, but which sometimes I can find myself part of. It doesn't feel like an exclusive place where you feel out of place because it is on International Drive. It is a very touristy location, and you're gonna.
There's going to be all kinds of people there.
I was in there with t-shirt, shorts, and flip-flops, and I felt fine. I didn't feel out of place. I didn't feel
Nope,
like the
I didn't
crowd
either.
was.
Sitting right next to us was a very average family, mom.
Average. Oh, you're
They were
so
British.
mean.
Well, mom, dad, and 2 point
Basic.
whatever kids.
Yeah, that little third point kid. Okay, so this place has been there for 20-some years. It's been
Has
there a
it
long
really?
time.
Okay.
So it was there before the hipsters came along.
That's right.
To me, it's just eclectic hodgepodge of interesting things.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that way. The food was also very eclectic and different.
Yeah, the menu was very, very.
The menu was very varied.
Before we go to the menu and the food, I did want to point out that they also have a very large outdoor seating area, which is not as heavily themed outside, but
It's colorful.
That's their
Yeah.
patio.
And it was raining, and it was nice to have that there. And they have the pull down, like shade visory thingies that come down. You can also smoke out there, so just be advised it's a smoking patio as well.
They had a few different sections. There was the patio. There was also a bar there, as you mentioned, but the bar wasn't a main feature. It was kind of tucked off in the
No.
corner.
It's actually quite
which
small.
I was a little bit surprised about that. But it was just kind of there as a piece. It was not there as a main focal point.
It was
as
a
you-
gathering spot.
As you can see from the photo here, there's probably only about 8 seats at the bar, but the window in the back opens out to that
To the
outdoor
patio.
patio, and I would imagine at popular days or popular nights
yeah.
that they open that
They
up,
pop it open.
and
They
that
had-
makes the bar a little bit bigger.
Yeah, and they had varied seating. They had huge booths. We were sitting at a high top. They also had low top tables in another section. And then there was this one table near the kitchen. I don't know if they call it the chef's table. I would imagine if this place has a chef's table, this would be considered the chef's table.
Is this the one?
That is the one. It had these beautiful chandeliers over it and this extremely long table, almost looks like the Last Supper type deal, and all of the chairs were different, and I just thought it looked like such a fun thing, like maybe where the Mad Hatter and the March Hare have their tea
Right.
parties.
See, I like that. I love that look. That
do, too.
mismatched. That is my world right there.
And
That
what it
is my world.
It's almost set up like a picnic table in that, it's built into the ground. There's these 2 long benches on either side, but the benches, quote unquote, are like giant chunks of raw like tree trunk wood. and then out of that on each individual seat are random like chair backs from
Yeah.
all different styles. Again, very eclectic.
I
And it's all
love it.
seated right next to the kitchen and the open wood wood oven
Yeah.
where they cook the pizzas and stuff, which is a really cool thing. You can watch them doing their thing very easily in there.
It's cool. It was nice.
Cleanliness. It was so dark, but what did you guys?
I didn't see anything that wasn't clean.
Well, you couldn't see anything.
I like that. That's how I keep my house too.
I don't know how to
Dim.
describe it. I felt like it had a clean, a dirty clean feel to it because it's
A dirty
that-
clean feel. What the heck is that?
It feels like an art studio, and art studios are not clean. I mean, they can be clean and organized, and I'm not saying there were bugs crawling on the floor, but it had that.
It had a lived-in feel.
I'm sure it was sanitary, but it felt very lived in, or just used. It felt like an art studio, and
It just
art
felt
studios
homey to me.
messy. It's a working environment.
Yeah.
So, but I never at any point felt uncomfortable with eating.
No.
It wasn't messy that way. It was definitely kid friendly when we went. I think it would
wouldn't-
probably be the same in the evenings.
I don't know. I think it probably, as the evening goes on, it probably switched up a little bit.
I think in general it skews more to the young adult crowd.
Yeah.
And I even think, even though there
offense to
were
that.
kids there, and we'll talk about the menu, I think that if I had kids, it probably wouldn't be my first choice
Yeah.
to
I
bring them
wouldn't
there.
take
No,
my kids there.
No, I mean, this is not on the, like when we went to go to review Toasted, we both left and we were like, we're bringing our kids back.
Right.
This wasn't one where I left and I thought, I'm bringing my kids back. But I didn't see anything in the restaurant or that I would feel like was something children shouldn't be
Well,
around
the
or
bar.
exposed to.
But
But that was the thing about the bar. It was such like a minor.
I know, but I don't
minor
normally take when my
aspect.
kids were little. Now they're all up and drinking for all I know. But I don't see this as kid friendly.
Embrace
No.
the darkness.
I know. I mean, my kids would all enjoy it, but my kids are all young adults, and
Yeah. Well,
But
and
children in general, I don't think I would take my children there.
that kind of segues back into the I think the way that this restaurant skews as far as atmosphere and the purpose that it serves. We were talking, and it gets into the menu. Let's talk about how the menu is set up.
Well, it's like a tapas menu. It's all small plates. Going right back to in the center of the table, there was a high stack of small plates, clean and ready for us to go, along with silverware.
They expected you to go through a lot of plates. I think it was literally a stack of maybe 10 plates on the
and
table.
they expected you to. It was a sharing environment. I mean, obviously, you could, if you wanted to, hoard whatever you got to yourself. But I think, which I do on occasion, this was a sharing. They want you to share the food.
And that was the other thing that was very unique to me. I had never been in a restaurant before where it was basically the entire menu, everything on the menu was set up and expected for it to be brought to the table and then divided amongst the entire table.
Yeah.
So your
Yeah.
meal didn't consist of an appetizer, a salad, an entree, a dessert. I mean, it did consist of those things, but even the entrees were brought out and meant to be
Yeah.
shared.
The entrees were all brought out, separated into bite-sized portions that could be split up. We'll get into some examples of that.
We can get into the examples right now.
Yeah.
Let's
everything.
do it.
All right, so we all ordered something different so we could share. There were things that were on the permanent menu. There were things that were on the special menu. One of the things on the, I don't know if it was a weekly or a daily or a monthly, whatever the special,
The chef's edition.
chef's edition. Dustin and I both thought the mussels looked good, and it was a Thai coconut sauce.
And here's the chef's editions menu here.
And it's got a little bit of information on there, information on what artist is there and how you can draw this picture of this dog that you want to learn. It's like a human face
People
dog.
give you lessons.
But so what we got the mussels in the Thai coconut sauce or whatever. It was awesome.
They were really good.
They were really good. Now Dustin was whining a little bit about the little red pepper thing in there. He got a hold of one of those. And,
Well, what happened was you had taken a couple bites beforehand and discarded the red peppery things that were in there, and you enjoyed them, and they were sweet and they were creamy and they were delicious.
It was very good.
And when I went in there, I just took a big old scoop of everything that was in the shell, including those red peppers, which I have no clue what they were. It was unexpectedly hot. Not the hottest thing I've ever had.
it was a tingly experience.
It was
for him.
very, very tingly.
Dustin had a definite strong reaction.
So that was good. What else off that menu did we get? There was something else that was on that menu that you got, I think.
Well, we had the alligator bites.
Alligator bites. That was on the regular menu.
I think it was oh man.
Was it the short rib? No, that was on the regular menu.
No, it was the bean burger thing.
That's right. It was like a
The
little
bean burger wraps.
bean burger wrap, and it looked like a giant. It looked like a giant deep fried something.
It looked falafel-ish.
It did.
And then it had,
but bigger than falafel, I think.
well, it depends on the falafel, but then it had the sauce on it, and you could wrap it in the bib lettuce, which I thought was really great
And
combination.
it comes with four of them. There's only 3 in this picture because they messed up the fourth
Yeah,
one.
the fourth one rolled off the corner of the
Yeah.
plate, and isn't there a little tomato under there too? Yes,
Came with a little bit of tomato
It
with
was
it.
very good. It was like 3 types of beans. That was one of my favorite ones. It was very good.
There's
there
the
it is.
messed up one.
Yeah, pour one on the end.
Well, you can see the tomato at least.
Yeah,
Sad.
rolled off to the plate. We
But
did
this
good
one
play.
did end up being one of our favorites
It
overall.
was by far my favorite.
Was
It was
it?
good.
That was the winner for you. Okay.
Yeah, was good. And then we also had the little short rib, and it was 3 or 4. There they are, and that also came with a lettuce wrap, and it had kimchi on top.
It was
right?
house-made kimchi, which when you think about kimchi, when I think about kimchi, I think about my Korean friend Boaz from high school's mom having a giant, those
jar.
the big jar of Cheeto balls that you can get.
Yeah.
She would have kimchi in that red pickled cabbage stuff,
Yeah, ready to go.
Right. This was not it. This was house-made kimchi,
and this was a little more mild.
and it had really no spice to it at all.
Yeah.
What it added to this dish was a little bit of flavor and a little bit of crunchiness
Right.
to it. What you really tasted through this whole thing was really good short rib.
The little tiny short rib.
But I
It was
thought
good.
I thought it was excellent short rib, and I thought it had a really good texture, a really good taste, and it wasn't spicy, which is what both you and me were afraid of going
Right,
into it with
right.
the kimchi. I thought it was, if you like short rib, you're going to like this.
Yes, definitely. Now, we also had alligator bites, which I had before. Have you had alligator bites before?
We did once when we were in Cape Canaveral.
Okay,
And I have
had
had
them before,
'em-
but they were bigger than this.
Yeah.
Yes.
These were tiny.
Yeah, I had them at the kitchen at Universal at the Hard Rock Hotel, and they reminded me almost of like the Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets.
Chicken nugget, yeah.
Yeah, this was
These were
little
more
stringy.
like little pieces of calamari or something. They
Yeah.
were little,
Yeah.
tiny little pieces.
And they came with like a Dijon honey mustard.
right, which you
was-
didn't care for, but I was
Dustin
okay with
didn't
it.
like it. I really liked the
I liked
sauce.
it.
I
I
liked
was okay with it, and I was okay with eating the gator.
the sauce is the reason why I was able to eat it.
I don't
think.
know. I don't know if it is a normal thing with this dish or just how they prepared it that day, but it felt a little soggy to me. I would have liked it to be a little
There was no
crispy
crunch.
and
Yeah.
crunchier. Yeah.
It was a little on the rubbery. The breading part
Yeah.
was a little on the soggy side. Okay, so what else did we had? We had the
Well, we had the sloppy Joe.
the little sloppy Joe thing.
Sloppy Joe sliders. This
Now
was
this is
the-
one I picked,
and this ended up being the disappointment.
and
of
it was
the-
it had another name to
selection.
it. I can't remember what the actual name was, but
It was basically sloppy Joe sliders.
it was basically a pedestrian sloppy Joe that you could make at home.
But
In
it came on a brioche.
sweet little soft bun with some other, maybe some onion straws and some other things on there. It was
It's pretty basic.
very basic, very, very basic.
But I think it would also be a crowd pleaser,
Yeah.
It's something that, if you've got picky people, this is something that would
relate to something
Be
that they might
okay
have had
for-
before.
yeah.
Right?
I don't think either you or me are saying that it was bad.
Oh no,
No.
no,
Yeah.
it wasn't bad.
it just was normal. Well, you described
it was
it as
pedestrian.
taco meat on a bun.
Taco meat on a bun, and that's what it was. Just a sloppy Joe, loose meat sandwich with some spices.
But if you were here for friends, and by the way, I think this restaurant It would, I don't know what their nightlife is like, but would excel in this. If you're out late with a couple friends
Yes.
and you're having a few drinks and you get the munchies and you say, I need to get some food in my belly.
Give me some sliders.
Give me
yeah.
some of that sloppy Joe slider.
That's a good.
Yeah.
That would
and
be
they
a
have
good
several,
pick.
Do you have the menu pulled up? They have several
Do.
kind of sliders.
Although it's not like the one that we were looking at, but here I'll let. You're always better at browsing through menus.
Okay, so there's the alligator bite.
There was that, and then I also ordered one of their pizzas.
Yeah.
It was the carne.
It was like the
pizza.
carnivore pizza or something
Yep,
like that.
it had their Tuscan meatballs and
like pepperoni.
it wasn't pepperoni. It was it was some kind of like
Let me
sausage
go back up to the
thing.
pizza here.
Sliced thin like
Which
pepperoni.
one was it?
Yep, with what?
Which pizza was it?
The carne. The carne one.
Looking for it.
And you had an interesting description of this.
I did. Well, okay, so here's the thing. It also had caramelized onions on it. And, I took a bite of the pizza. Pizza's my favorite food to eat. I know that's
Really?
I know. It's so boring, but I'm addicted to it. I love it.
No, that's like the number one food group.
Oh, see, yeah.
Ever since I was little, if I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, it would be pizza. I'd be incredibly
Really?
unhealthy, but that's what I would.
Jalen, just to start, how big was this pizza? Would you say it was about 10 inches across?
It was a dinner plate.
Yeah, I mean, it was not big. It was
a
small.
personal pizza.
It was a personal pizza, an individual pizza. I think it was 6. They put
Little
it into 6
slices, yeah.
slices.
Presentation was nice.
It was. It came out on this little wooden artist palette
Yeah.
platter thing. It was cute. It was
Or
really
probably
cute.
paints had been mixed.
So I ate it, and
Again, clean, but used.
So I ate it, and initially I was like, oh, I like this so much. Everything tasted really fresh. The meatball was good. The sausage was good. The cheese was amazing. And then came this second phase of it where I was like, I don't know that I like this as much anymore. But I think what it was the caramelized onions coming into play at that point.
See, I love caramelized onions on just about anything. I didn't care for this pizza. I had a piece.
Go ahead.
I had a piece, and I didn't like the meatball, the little ball of mini meats.
Yeah.
I did not care for that. It
I was
a little
all
too
about
big
that.
for a pizza for me.
Oh, I was all about the meatball on the pizza, but
I do not care for caramelized red onions on pizza, and I think that's what this was.
Okay.
What I like is if you had freshly chopped white or sweet yellow onions
Right.
on a pizza and that went in the oven straight like that, that's fine. Caramelized onions have a different texture and a different taste to them.
See, I like that though. I'm okay with that.
But I don't think it belongs on a quote unquote meat lover's pizza.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's more of an artisan pizza with the
Yeah.
goat cheese and the
Yeah.
the frou-frou-y arugula garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, I like all of that, but it would be more of that kind of a thing.
it was disappointing that it ended with that last note of ugh, because it was so good in the beginning and the dough was awesome. I loved the texture of it all. Like, it was great pizza wise. And it was just that last little bit of something that was like,
What is this?
yeah, like I can't quite. Do I
this
like
back.
it? Do I
think it
not
was the
like
paint,
it?
The
Just-
paint on the palette. What? Well, there was something else we had. Wasn't there another entree? Did we miss one?
Not that I can think of.
No, because you named all the things I ordered. You named the bean.
And I took a picture of
burger.
everything, and I'm not seeing anything else.
We had-
Okay, all
so
right.
the last thing that we did
had-
get was
we did have dessert.
dessert.
And it was
Cheesecake,
Cheesecake
chocolate
lollipops.
cheesecake. Wait, cheesecake.
lollipops.
Yes,
Dipped in chocolate.
dipped in chocolate. I didn't want to say chocolate
So it
cheesecake.
was
but-
triangles of cheesecake or misshapen shapes of cheesecake.
There were triangles.
There were triangles. There were 4 of them
Which
on a plate.
I thought they'd be circular, but that's just me.
Okay, well, that was just you. You were going with the lollipop theme. Mm-hmm. The stick is what makes the lollipop, not the shape.
How I felt about this was there was absolutely no flavor.
Yeah.
Like, you take a bite and you're like, did I just eat something?
Well,
Was
our-
there something in my mouth?
our
I
s-
can't tell.
Our server was saying, like, this is my favorite dessert in the whole world. I love this.
Right, there's
I-
one for each of us, including him. There were
Right.
4.
He was all about, he wanted to sit down and join us and eat that 4th lollipop.
Which none of us ate.
I don't know. I guess none of us ate it because it.
And it had chocolate on it, but the chocolate didn't have any flavor.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
How is this achieved?
You know what? I think both Dairy Queen and McDonald's can dip their ice cream cones in the chocolate crust. That's way better than what this was dipped in.
Yeah.
And then the cheesecake itself didn't even taste like cheesecake.
Well, the cheesecake was uber soft. It was I thought it was going to be a little bit more. There was a lot of. It had the crust inside, the graham crackery.
Right, and that's all I tasted.
That's
that
the
was
flavor
it. That was
you
the
tasted.
only flavor.
That and the whipped cream that we were fighting
well,
over.
yeah, we kept having to dip it in the whipped cream so we could actually taste something.
It was a poor use of calories.
Seriously, that's the trick.
If
that's
it's something
how
I'm going to go, ooh, I want more of this. No, and I'm all about the dessert. And I think whoever our little waiter boy, I don't remember what his name was, but we shouldn't have listened to him. We should have went with the creme brulee or something else, one of those other.
I'm still like it, and again, it wasn't that it was bad. It just didn't even taste like it existed.
It was like
I'm still like my mind is blown by the fact that you could eat something and it didn't
tasteless, and not tasteless in a bad way, just no taste,
no flavor.
The flavor was the crust.
Yeah.
What you can do is go to your grocery store, go to the freezer section, and get one of those Sara Lee pie crusts.
Yeah.
Just munch on that.
Dip
That's
it,
what it
dip
is.
it in
Flavorless chocolate.
Flavorless chocolate.
Put some whipped cream
Put it on
that
a stick
puppy.
and call it a lollipop.
So the point here is maybe go with a different dessert because
Yeah.
I doubt that they're all like this.
I would hope not.
I would hope that they have something that's.
But you know what I
flavorful.
I
liked
wanted
about
to try
that
the
one?
cookie cream
Yeah.
pie.
What I liked about the lollipop thing was it seemed like it would lend to sharing because we'd each have our own little
Right.
lollipop. Right? So I'm thinking, oh, that's cool. And it's going to limit me. They had a cookie that sounded good.
Mm-hmm.
They had a creme brulee, and I don't remember what the other things were. But because he was all, you got to get this. This is the best thing. Well, the dude has no taste buds. So
I guess not.
maybe they've all burned off or something because if he thought this was
He ate
good.
too many of those red peppers.
Yeah, that's what it was. There was no taste to
Or
it.
maybe both your taste buds had died from the red.
Well, but you agreed with us, so.
No, that's true. And I didn't eat any red peppers or mussels because I would have been gagging. But it has nothing to do with you guys eat all the mussels that you
She doesn't
want.
like the
I just
connectors.
can't.
Well, I was having trouble with it when you kept saying, get the connector. I'm like, let's not
can't.
talk about it.
You have to
can't.
pull the mussel out of the shell,
oh.
and the connector just kind of snaps
okay.
like
Snaps out, yeah.
like a rubber band, you know?
And it just kind of, it's all soft and
Just slides right
gelatinous
down.
in your mouth, and it's good. It's yummy.
This is why I don't eat them. Oh my gosh, just talking
If you
about
were
it
starving,
makes me
you'd eat it.
We talked about oysters and our Christmas traditions.
Yeah.
You know?
It was okay. So here's the thing that I really liked about this restaurant. Oh wait, maybe I'll save that to the end. The thing, well, there was this that I did like about the restaurant. They had a lot of special dietary options listed right there on the menu. There was a lot of vegetarian options. There was a lot of gluten-free options.
How much vegan options were there? I didn't pay attention.
I guess I didn't look necessarily at the vegan because
Yeah. Seemed like a lot of it was meat based.
Yeah.
yeah, but they did have the other things. The one of your favorite was a vegetarian option. That
Yeah, that's
bean
true.
that bean
was
burger
good.
wrap.
That was good. And pricing, $6 to $12 maybe per.
It was not. It was reasonable.
It was a little more than that.
Was it?
Yeah. It was maybe about $9 for.
Well, I know they had a few like edamame, and there's some weird things that we didn't get. They had hummus. They had some other things
Here we
that
go.
we didn't.
The
eat that were
pizzas
cheaper.
and the flatbreads were like $9-10. Alligator bites $8.
I think the short ribs was the most expensive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much everything's like between $7 and $10.
But what did we walk away with? Our grand total was like $80.
$80.
That was we also had a lot. Of
All right, so $80 divided by 3, that's about 26.7 per person.
You had a beer.
Yeah.
You had water. I had a soda.
Right. So I've had worse meals for $25.
Yeah.
You know?
But it wasn't a fill up meal. It wasn't
No,
like
it
I'm
wasn't.
stuffed.
No.
You know, it was more like that was nice.
In
I
fact,
walked
we
away.
all finished, and I was like, you guys want to order something else?
Yeah, she was.
I was still hungry.
I did go home and make spaghetti.
This is
Okay,
more
I went
like
home and
hangout.
cooked too. So
So I guess portion size, we're going to say this isn't. You're not going to.
it's not a big sit-down meal.
No, it's not a sit-down
It's
meal.
more
This
about
is
the
a-
atmosphere.
This is a hangout place and munching while you're hanging out. And at least that's how I felt about it.
That's exactly how I felt about it. Just hanging, getting a little snackage, having a couple drinks.
I mean, I want to go back. And I would love to go back with like a group of friends, girls' night out or something.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
hit this somewhere along the line. But this is not some place that I'd want to go for for my big dinner or
No,
whatever.
this is all about the atmosphere and the tapas and the frou-frou and the chandelier and I like all that. And it's all,
It was a fun place.
yeah.
And even though our waiter steered us in the wrong direction for dessert, how'd you guys feel about him overall?
Oh, I thought he was very
He
good.
was very nice, very personable.
Yeah. Knowledgeable about the menu.
Knowledgeable. Yes, he was very knowledgeable.
Even if his opinions were wrong.
Yeah, were his opinions.
Well, not all of them. He was the one who directed us to the bean burger
That's right.
Because I was going to pick the actual falafel
Right? And
The actual falafel.
as opposed to the bean burger.
True.
good
No,
suggestion.
I thought it was a nice experience. I thought it was. I'd go back. I've been there before. I liked it.
Before we wrap it up, though, I have to mention these bathrooms. Did you head to the bathroom?
No, I leave that up to you.
Every
Tiny
time
bladder. What's
I
happening in
just
the
go-
bathroom?
These were the smallest stalls I have ever seen in a restaurant in my life. They're miniature, and you have to be like to
Glad
fit
I didn't
in.
go.
And it's cute, very eclectic. That
Is there art for sale in there?
no,
No, I
but
had to ask that because did you ever see the movie Big Eyes? No. Okay, so in the movie Big Eyes, her art was being sold in a bar, and it was on the hallway leading to the bathroom. So I thought, I bet there's art in this bathroom.
No, there's not a lot of wall space in there. The whole facility is a bit tiny, especially each specific stall. It's cute. They've got cute tiles on the walls, and the doors have this clouded glass
Right.
thing. The one thing I thought was fun was the sink and mirror area. Again, has that dirty clean feel to it, like the
Oh, that's the farm sink from the bathroom. Yeah.
Exactly. Obviously, it's clean. It's a sink, but it has that very worn feel to it. And
See,
then,
I like this.
well, I like it. I like it too. I'm not saying I don't like it.
I could live there.
And then it had the
I'd be
two
quite
mirrors, and
happy.
even the mirrors were not symmetrical. One was
Yeah.
rectangular, one was oval,
See?
and it was just totally
This is my
cute.
life. Nothing matches. Nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't check out the men's room, but I'm sure it was
It's
along
like,
the same
similar.
lines.
Almost like what's it called? Not grunge. I can't think of what
I don't know.
Never mind.
But anyway, so I thought that, again, the theme carried all the way to the bathroom except for I just couldn't get over those stalls. It was like you have to turn like this
Versus
in there.
the other restaurant we went to where the stall was so big that you couldn't get your foot to.
Right. You couldn't block
If someone
intruders.
came in, baby, you had no way of stopping it. And you were like 20 feet away. There's got to be something in the middle, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Something where you're not
Somewhere on iDrive,
totally-
we will find the happy balance.
Because, you're either exposed, waiting for someone to break in on you and no way to stop them, versus I've got to stand and pee because there's no room to sit down.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Well, the other great thing about Tu Tu Tango is being on International Drive, it is very accessible to many other attractions.
Yeah.
Particularly Pirate Mini Golf,
Yep.
which we are going to get back to at
And
some
it's
point.
walkable to the eye and all of that. It's very close.
And it is. And iDrive, especially in that section of iDrive, can be a very pleasant experience in the evenings to walk around.
And I think fairly safe.
Yeah, I would agree with
There's
that.
enough people around and enough stuff going on.
I agree.
Nothing too shady.
So overall, Dustin,
We don't
What-
have our spoons, but okay, go ahead.
oh, we forgot the spatula.
You can grab the spoons while I'm talking.
Okay.
All right.
Cut to you.
All right. Cut to me.
My Monica Geller's kicking in here. Where are the spatula people?
My impressions are I would not take a big family here. I would not take family with kids here. But I thought the food that we did have was good, if not a little bit overpriced. And I feel like it's just a good good place to go on iDrive if you're in that area, and especially if you like these, the tone that this place takes. I would highly recommend it because there's something on the menu for everybody.
Okay,
really,
cut to me. Okay.
Is this
they're
what
completely bald now.
Is that what we're doing?
My people have no hair.
They need to go through Bosley.
My people have no hair.
Mine did. It just.
Okay, so
These
let's
guys have
do
been.
the little frowny for. I don't think I'd take my kids.
Okay.
I'm not going to sit down in the bathroom because there's no room. Don't eat the cheesecake. But then let's bring out the happy guy. Love the eclectic art. Love the weirdness of it all.
But is that enough?
It is for me. And the food. There was something on the menu that I could eat. And if I'm ready, when I'm ready, and I'm not driving, there's alcohol waiting for me. So I would go back, and I will go back.
So you give it a happy face, but know that the frowny face is right there behind him.
Yes, the happy face, but
whispering into his ear.
Don't bring the children. Don't bring your I smell children, but not at Tu Tu Tango. Okay, I'm done.
Why are your spatula people so much more entertaining
The
than
Russian,
mine?
apparently. Not to bring the children.
If
Wow,
Dustin
look
ever,
at yours. Yours are all trumped.
mine has
You got the,
this
how'd
is
I get the naked
Donald
ones?
and Ivana. Oops.
Oh,
That's Donald.
Maybe this one's Donald. Okay. Anyway,
Mine's Patrick Stewart.
I really did enjoy.
Captain Picard coming in, frowning at you.
I really did enjoy the
Professor X.
experience.
all right.
ahead, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
let her get a word out.
Throwing the
I'm done.
spatulas out
Go
the
ahead.
window. I really did enjoy the experience, but only within a certain context. And, we've already talked about that. I think this is more of a hangout late in the evening type thing. Or if you just want a brief snack to carry you over until you're going to get to your next big meal, I guess. I wouldn't bring my kids either. Not because I don't feel like it's kid appropriate, but just because I think they'd be hungry when we left. I don't think it would.
There wasn't a children's menu.
They would just keep eating and eating and eating and eating and eating and eating. And that's how they would be because it's not a big meal.
Lord.
My kids eat a lot.
Mine do too, but I just wouldn't take them because honestly, I would take Stella because I'd want her to see the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would take Grace. I would take my kids at this age,
Mm-hmm.
but not younger. And I don't,
Yeah.
and mainly because there's nothing on the menu that a average run-of-the-mill, I'm not even near the mic, am I? Average run-of-the-mill child would eat, There's no, I guess you could get a cheese pizza, but I don't know. I just don't think a kid would enjoy it.
I think that my children would enjoy it, honestly.
Yeah, but your children are older too.
Yeah, 15, 13, and 10. And I think all of them, they're not, 4 and,
Yeah.
7 or whatever. But I think my kids would enjoy it. I just think that it wouldn't satisfy them. So as everyone else said, family perspective, I have to give it the frowny face. But I have to give it a really big happy face because I am telling you, if I ever am out and having a fun night and you're just needing a little extra something to do afterwards because you're not ready to go home, hey, this is perfect.
that
This
happen
is
to you a
perfect
lot?
for that.
You're not ready to go.
Not anymore these
Just
days.
not
I'm
ready to go
always
home yet.
I'm hoping that day comes. I'm looking
I
for a
want
reason.
my home to be like Tu Tu Tango. I love that look. That in parts of my house, my walls are kind of like that in weird eclecticness. I just felt real at home, so that's how I feel about it.
So in general, we give it the happy spatulas. All right. I think that's going to do it for this week's show. So we're going to see you next week for more fun. We are not exactly sure what we're talking about. It might have something to do with hotels and
We'll
the most
never know
wanted
till you get
amenities.
here.
Yeah, I guess we don't know.
No,
That schedule keeps changing.
it'll be fun.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be awesome.
We might have spatulas with
can stop
hair
talking
and
now,
without
right?
hair.
I'm going to
guess
go
so.
do some fun things with my spatulas.
Wow. And with that, we are going to say trip out.
All right, I'm going to try. Dustin tells me the little red things are spicy. So I'm going to try one here. Oh, here it comes.
Well, I wasn't kidding. Yeah.
Our eyes are watering.
Was good. Okay.
I wasn't kidding with the spiciness.
No, you're right. It was really, really good.
And I caught that one by accident. I need to warn people about this. This is a health hazard.
Right.
Is it still?
I'm getting tingle. Little tingle going on. It was good. But it's also good without eating them too, so. Wow. My lips are still tingling.